Tell me about this psychological warfare, because we know Hamas filmed these hostages, filmed them before they killed them. Some of them had horrific injuries when they were captured, and they must have suffered terribly for all those months they were held. And just before the rescue, as you've mentioned, they have been executed. Tell me about how they're employing these tactics and what impact it's having on the Israeli population.
Well, let's just talking, and they were executed with a gunshot to the back of their necks. That's what happened. So these 6 people have survived for 11 months in subhuman conditions and then were executed in cold blood. What's happening now is a trauma for the collective of the Jewish people and the state of Israel and anybody that's paying attention. A part of Hamas's strategy is a psychological warfare, which is exactly what they're doing. They're filming the hostages. They're making them say certain things. They're writing scripts for them. They're very, very media savvy. So hostages that have returned are reporting that they sat them down. They told them to brush their hairs. One of the hostages was actually rebelling against it. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And are putting them against the backdrop and telling them what to say. One of the hostages was reporting that she started crying at some point, and the Hamas terrorists were saying, why are you crying? She said, what do you think? Why do you think I'm crying? They're making them say all these things to actually put pressure on the Israelis when the pressure needs to be on Hamas, on the terrorist organization that started this thing. Because again, when these terrorists are saying what they want, the people in the West need to listen. So if you hear in Iran, you hear death to Israel, you know the death to America is sure to follow. And you know that it's to Australia and to Europe. You know that they are after our way of life. And they're using Israel and they're using the Jewish people. This is just a step for the rest of the world. And I know this might sound like warmongering, but it's true. The West need to listen to what Hamas is saying and put the pressure where it belongs on Hamas, the Islamic Republic of Iran, that is responsible for everything that's happening right now in the world.
James.
And Noah, these tunnels, which of course were built in no small part with Western aid money, were under Rafah, where these horrible executions we're talking about took place. And yet, just months ago, the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, were telling Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government not to go into Rafah. Now, don't tell me that they wouldn't have known in their national security briefings that there were hostages being held there and that this was the epicenter of this Hamas evil. What do you make of the way the Biden-Harris administration has been conducting itself in this circumstance? And what does it portend if they win in November?
Sadly, I believe that this is not just the Biden-Harris administration. This is a lot of governments in the West and a lot of people that aren't getting the message. They are subjected to Twitter rage. They started basically a campaign, All Eyes on Rafah. They started this online campaign that we know who's behind it. We know who's paying for it and sponsoring it. And activists and influencers and celebrities and Hollywood personnel have tried to, have actually taken this on, All Eyes on Rafah, to prevent the Israeli army from getting into Rafah when we knew that the hostages were there. So they're trying to prevent Israel from going into a rescue operation to save these hostages. And we know these hostages were slaughtered in Rafah. That's where they keep them. So I do believe that Israel needs to be able to do whatever it has to rescue these hostages and to eliminate Hamas. The Palestinian people deserve better than Hamas. We need to stand united against jihadism. This is the one thing that the West has to understand and unite against.
Noa Tishby, agree 100% with you. Israel needs to get in there, finish off Hamas, wipe them out. Nothing less than that will do. And all those Western nations and governments like our own, shamefully here in Australia, the disgraceful Albanese Wong government trying to stop arms, as the British are doing, stopping arms to Israel and support calling for ceasefires when there is only one solution, Noah, and that is to finish off Hamas, eliminate them off the face of the earth. Very quickly, 10 seconds, Noah.
I think everybody can be very brave and talk about not responding the way that Israel has responded just because they're far away from these people. Just remember, Rafah, Gaza is very close to Tel Aviv. So just remember, if you're sitting in Sydney and somebody is 30 kilometers away from you, you're going to try and eliminate them.
Noa Tishby, thanks so much.